It wasn't water, not exactly. More a constant drizzle of chemical condensation leaking from the atmosphere processors that kept the colony habitable. The sky was a sickly gray, the streets muddy with runoff, and the neon glow of vendor stalls was the only splash of color in the industrial gloom. Yerrick worked those streets like everyone else, hauling crates, stacking or shipments, and earning just enough credits to buy food and a corner of a bunkhouse. A human laborer among hundreds of alien workers, he was just another tired face in the endless shuffle of survival. That's when he noticed her. She was tall, slim, and graceful, with faintly glowing skin hidden beneath a ragged worker's hoodie. Stray locks of silver hair slipped from under the hood, catching neon light like threads of starlight. She carried crates heavier than her frame should allow, moving with the ease of someone far stronger than she looked. Yerrick watched her from the cargo platform one evening as they unloaded mineral containers from a shuttle. She didn't speak much, just nodded politely when others passed her by. Yet there was something about her movements, controlled, precise, almost too elegant for a dock worker. He found himself drawn to her. One evening, as the shift ended, Yerrick caught up with her outside the supply depot. "Hey," he said awkwardly. "You're new here, right? Haven't seen you around before." The hood tilted slightly. Two luminous violet eyes met his under the shadow. For a moment, he thought she wouldn't answer. Then she said softly, "Yes, new." Her voice was musical, calm, but guarded. "I'm Yerrick," he offered. "You?" "LYSS," she said simply, pulling her hood tighter before slipping away into the rain. Days turned into weeks. Yerrick saw LYSS often on platforms, always working, always alone. Workers whispered about her strength, how she carried double loads without complaint, how she never tired. Some dismissed her as just another exotic species with odd biology, but Yerrick couldn't shake the feeling there was more. One evening, when the work sirens blared and the shift ended, he found her sitting alone under a flickering neon sign, watching the rain fall in sheets. He hesitated, then sat nearby. "You ever get used to it?" he asked, nodding toward the endless drizzle. She tilted her head. "No, but it hides." "Hides what?" Her lips pressed together. She didn't answer. Yerrick leaned back against the wall. "Can't be worse than what I'm hiding from. Half this colony owes the syndicate something. I'm no different." That earned him the faintest smile from her, though it vanished quickly. The reveal came the night the syndicate arrived. A shuttle landed heavy on the docks, its black hull marked with crimson sigils. Armed collectors spilled out, scanning the crowds. Yerrick stiffened. He thought they were here for him. He'd missed payments on his own debts. But their eyes weren't on him. They were on LYSS. "There she is," a reptilian thug hissed. "Grab her." Before Yerrick could move, LYSS bolted, sprinting through the rain-soaked streets. The collectors chased, their shock rods crackling. Yerrick didn't think. He followed. They cornered her in an alley. She stood with her back against the wall, rain dripping off her hood. The syndicate leader sneered. "Thought you could hide among the laborers, princess?" Jarrick's stomach dropped. "Princess?" He glanced at her. She met his gaze, then, slowly, she reached up and pulled down her hood. What he saw stole the breath from his lungs. Her silver hair spilled free, glowing faintly in the neon light. Her skin shimmered like starlit glass, marked with glowing lines that traced elegant patterns across her face and neck. Her violet eyes burned with quiet fire, regal and commanding. She wasn't a simple worker. She wasn't even just beautiful. She was royalty, one of the last surviving heirs of the Eliari sovereignty, a people annihilated in the Syndicate Wars. The collector stepped back warily, as if her very presence carried danger. "Come quietly," their leader snarled. "Your bloodline ends tonight." LYSS straightened, her posture suddenly radiant with power. "You killed my family. You destroyed my world. And you think I will bow?" Her hands lifted, and light flared along her veins. Energy rippled outward, blasting the nearest collectors off their feet. Weapons clattered into the rain. Yerrick stumbled back, eyes wide. She wasn't just a princess. She was a weapon. Chaos erupted. The syndicate fired stun bolts, but LYSS moved like lightning, deflecting arcs of energy with shimmering shields of light. Her voice rang out in a language Yarrick didn't understand, commanding, fierce, echoing off the walls. But there were too many. Dozens of collectors swarmed, cornering her, their weapons tightening. Jarrick's instinct screamed at him to run. But when he saw her stagger under the weight of fire, her shields flickering, he couldn't. He grabbed a loose pipe from the ground and charged. "Hey!" he shouted, slamming it into a collector's head. The alien went down with a hiss. Yarrick ducked a shock rod, swung wildly, and managed to topple another. LYSS glanced at him in surprise. Their eyes met. Together, they fought. She with her radiant power, he with raw desperation. Against all odds, they broke through the line and fled into a maze of rain-soaked alleys. They collapsed hours later in an abandoned storage hangar, both gasping for breath. LYSS's glow dimmed as she lowered her hood again, her silver hair clinging to her cheeks. Yarrick dropped the pipe and slumped against the wall. "Princess, huh? Should have guessed you weren't just another worker." She looked at him, expression unreadable. "I hid because power draws hunters, and I was tired of running." Yarrick laughed bitterly. "Funny. Me too." Silence fell between them, broken only by the patter of rain on the roof. Then, softly, LYSS said, "When I first came here, I thought no one would see me. But you did." Yarrick blinked. "I thought you were just different, stronger, more beautiful than anyone else. Didn't think you'd be royalty." She smiled faintly. "To me, you are the first who look without fear or greed." Jarrick's throat tightened. He had spent his life invisible, just another laborer in the rain. Yet to her he mattered. The syndicate wouldn't stop. Both of them knew it. But for the first time, Yarrick wasn't running for himself. He was running with her. "Where do we go?" he asked. LYSS's eyes glowed, steady and determined. Not away. Forward. To rebuild what was lost. She reached out, her hand trembling but strong. "Will you come?" Yarrick hesitated only a moment before taking her hand. Outside, the rain poured endlessly, washing the neon streets clean. Somewhere in the distance, syndicate ships prowled. But in that abandoned hangar, under flickering light, a janitor and a hidden princess stood side by side, no longer alone. And for Yarrick, the galaxy had never looked brighter.